Hello everybody, this is my new personal best in Tetris the Absolute, the Grandmaster 2. This is a game I've currently been grinding, trying to get new grades. I've known that I've been S9 capable for a while, but there are other more interesting goals to me, like sub 12 in TGM1. But I've really been on the grind for this one. Something that I think actually really helped was going over the grade recognition system article on the Tetris wiki with my girlfriend. Just because something that I heard early on when I was starting my Tetris journey was that you shouldn't worry too much about the specifics of the implementation of the grade recognition system. Just play clean and fast. And I think that's probably good advice for somebody who's trying to get Master or Grandmaster. But when you're trying to get just like S9, S8, whatever, I think actually it can be a good idea to learn a little bit more about the grade recognition system. Because honestly, there's a lot of actionable information. Like, you'll notice that I'm not really playing all that fast in this early section. And that's because it turns out when you really look at the numbers and like do the math, it doesn't actually matter all that much how fast you go in the early sections, because the decay rate is so low that unless you're like playing slow on purpose, if you're at least like a competent skill level, then the decay rate is not going to be fighting against you that hard. So like you pretty much just need to clear 9 lines as long as there's like, at least a Tetris and a triple somewhere in there. For the early grades to get through them, and then like on grade 8 and 7, like there's actually no difference in the value of lines at all, because the decay rate isn't running when you're actively clearing lines. It only runs when you're in control of a tetramino. And just stuff like that can really like make a big difference to your consistency, I think. Historically, I've kind of been like an S6, S7 player who sometimes gets an S8, but I've been getting S8 very, very frequently since I learned about this little quirk of the system. This is kind of funny because I've been saying for a while that I think that TGM2 is better than TGM1, largely because it sort of has a more clear idea of what kind of vision it has for what high-level Tetris gameplay is, which is, very clean, very fast. But, I don't know, learning a little bit more about it, it just seems like the speed isn't as important as I thought it was until the Master level. Which, obviously, it's Tetris the Grandmaster, so to some degree, like, that's kind of, like, obviously going to be the focus. But, I don't know. It's a little bit less of a slam dunk in TGM2's favor over TGM1 than I thought. They're both great games, obviously, and this does actually make me curious. I haven't played a ton of TGM3, but I know that game has a slightly more complicated grade recognition system than TGM2 even, and so I wonder how well that kind of like holds up at the mid-level play, because TGM2, I just feel like it doesn't quite accomplish all of the goals that it seems to have had from my perspective prior to the M grades. These are all, great games, obviously. But yeah, for now, I'm definitely going to be sticking with TGM2. I want to try and get like a Master grade and then a Grandmaster grade. I might try and get, better times in S9 in the meantime, but for now, it's really just going to be a lot of training and practice and research. Just trying to make sure that my speed is up, making myself more comfortable playing in the invisible credit role, which will be necessary for the Grandmaster grade, which is something I haven't really had to engage with at all up until now, so that'll be interesting. And this is all fine, to be clear. I enjoy the research and training, etc. part of trying to get better at Tetris, because ultimately, if you're in a program, just flexing with the speed timings to force yourself to play a little faster, so that you just learn to think about Tetris faster, you're still ultimately doing the thing that's fun about Tetris, which is stacking blocks. Whether that's in a 10-minute burst or a 30-second burst. It doesn't necessarily feel all that different to me. So I think that it's a very good game to train in. It's actively fun to practice. So at this point, I was actually getting a little bit worried about how clean my playfield was, because you know, it's level 500s coming up. Obviously, that's 20G, which is very annoying to clean up if you have to clean up at 20G. But in addition, I'm also at grade 2, which is around the point when the internal points for the grade recognition system really start incentivizing those Tetrises much more than any other type of line clear. At this point, a single is worth 27% as much per line as a Tetris. And then a triple is worth 57% as much. A double is still worth 80% as much, so doubles aren't actually that bad, but it's kind of a little bit weird to get a double on purpose consistently. It's really just like you stack for Tetrises, and then you try to burn with doubles if you have to burn. But yeah, I did manage to get my board clean before level 500, which is very nice. And I'm going to be trying to keep it as clean as possible. Like, more than going fast, I'm concerned about keeping it clean. Because at this level 500 point, like, yeah, obviously I want Tetrises to try and get my grade up to like an S3 and S4 by the time I get to the next shift, which is level 750. But at level 750, as long as I have like a decent grade, I should be able to get an S9 as long as my stack is clean. Because the way that it works out, at this point in the game, I'm trying to play relatively fast, relatively clean in order to get grades against the decay rate. But at level 750, the decay rate, it doesn't even matter, because at 750, the multiplier for the internal points for the grade recognition system go from ×3 to ×4. And the value of a Tetris is 30 points. By the way, I got all this from the Tetris wiki. These aren't my observations. But yeah, so the value of a Tetris is 30, which means that ×4, it's 120. And so when you clear a line, you get over 100 points, which means that your internal grade increments. So as long as you are clean and you can score Tetrises relatively consistently, it doesn't even matter how fast you play at 750. So while I would love to get more grades, if possible, at this like level 500 to level 750 juncture, being clean is so much more important, because the value of Tetrises now pale in comparison to the value of Tetrises later. So at this juncture, I'm kind of just like clearing high value lines if I can, but more than that, I'm just trying to stay clean. So yeah, I did the calculations based on a previous PB of mine, and figured out that like on a somewhat good pace going into level 750, if I was able to clear at least 13 Tetrises, then that would be S9. And I have room to clear 18 Tetrises, which means that there is some wiggle room for, you know, skims and burns and whatnot. And this was all assuming I had a perfectly flat stack to start with, which is not actually the case. I already have like a stack kind of built up going into level 750, which is just all the better, because it means that I don't need to spend the levels to place the pieces to get ready for the line clears. I already have that ready. And so it actually is probably more like 19 or 20 lines, or 19 or 20 Tetrises that I have room for. So that's all really good. In this last little juncture, again, I'm trying to play like fast enough that I don't lose control of the pieces, because that's kind of a thing at the high speeds, is like if you don't manual lock, then you're kind of giving control of the piece over to the game, which can be somewhat difficult to keep track of, you know, your own internal timer for when the piece will lock, rather than you press down, you know the piece is locked. But yeah, I really wanted to make sure that my stack was clean, specifically going into level 900. None of the other speed changes in this game really hit me nearly as hard as going from 899 to 900. That just, it's really hard for me to clean up from that, which is something I need to work on, obviously. But yeah. There's a misdrop coming up, which also kind of freaked me out. I thought I had room to throw the S piece all the way over to the right and then kind of like synchro it backwards, but the spacing wasn't actually there. The geometry was wrong. But I tried to just like not think about it and sort of just like play normal on top of it and hope that that ended up being fine. So you can see I did manage to make my stack like pretty clean going into 900. And I actually took this level stop here on purpose because I wanted to make sure that my stack was like, you know, ready for multiple Tetrises at level 900 so that I wouldn't need to like build my stack at level 900. Because again, like I said, this is a really unwieldy speed for me. And, you know, after I kind of stacked down to the missed drop S piece, I sort of realized that like I was in a little bit of an uncharted situation. I wasn't super comfortable with the way things were going, but I saw that I got S8 early on in the level 900 range, so if I just, or I got S8 rather, and so if I just played like cleanly and stayed alive, not even cleanly, just like staying alive and not like literally clearing all singles, then I would be able to get the S9, which I did. And yeah, this was not a good day for me on the invisible credit roll. I was happy with green line, but orange line would have been nice, but the semi-invisible credit roll is something that I'm super inconsistent at, as you can see. Sometimes I'm in the zone. Today was just not one of those days, and that's fine. So yeah, this is pretty much the last PB for me. I might get orange line at some point, but I'm really more interested in just kind of doing the speed training to get Master and Grandmaster grades. So, you know, shoutouts to everybody who has been playing Tetris with me in the Metroid Dread Discord server. You guys have been really good at keeping my motivation high and creating a positive environment for improving. And for everybody who watched, I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day.